I am a concerned parent who was shocked by the various online posts from Mr. Sanchez. I understand that he has issued an apology, and I appreciate that. But along with that apology, I also heard excuses for his behavior. Instead of taking responsibility, he's turned it around on parents and taken on the victim mantle and blamed community members for political persecution. If you say a racial slur that easily, it shows it's bouncing around at the forefront of your mind. And unlike some of his supporters, I do mind racial slurs, whether they're targeted at me or someone else. In addition to his defenders, I've also heard from former students who say they've experienced racial biases in his classroom. I've read that a fellow school district employee filed a complaint against him for political harassment. And I've also spoken to community members who are terrified to speak tonight because of their immigration status. The man we're discussing right now could very well be in a position to make policy decisions that upend their lives. We would like accountability.
I am with the Inland Empire Immigrant Youth Collective, and we are very, very worried about the unfortunate comments and online behavior exhibited by Trustee David Sanchez. Unfortunately, that behavior is reprehensible. We cannot guarantee that our students feel safe in an environment where these kind of slurs are thrown around so easily. You know, I don't think that somebody who lacks the judgment to be able to maybe think that that wasn't appropriate and that wasn't right as an elected official to do, will be sound enough to be able to make decisions and policy decisions for youth that are vulnerable and underrepresented, especially during these difficult times. So we do urge for Trustee Sanchez to resign.
What does he mean by half-breed? Do you mean immigrants? Do you mean other race? Do you even know the definition of what half-breed is? Because half-breed was a term that used against, Native American, and now as a slur of being racist towards them. As a mom with kids with different race, I find that very offensive, very, very offensive, and I don't think you deserve the chair that you're in. And you do not deserve to be in that chair. You do need to step down because you do not need to make any policy towards our kids because those half-breed kids do attend this district.
With great concern regarding the actions of a member of your board, David Sanchez, who, in regards to a day without an immigrant on February 3rd, stated, "We need a day without a half-breed. Can't get more American than that." In further comments, he stood by that statement before ultimately deleting his post. His social media page also had a post in which he commented, "Sure, make it easier to deport everyone in the same location," on a video about immigrants protesting. This hateful rhetoric is unacceptable. It does not reflect our diverse community or our schools. Excusing it with little more than a bland apology calls into question every action, policy, and appointment of this board. And that's why I'm here to urge the resignation of David Sanchez. You say that his comments do not represent Beaumont Unified, but he represents Beaumont Unified by sitting in that chair.
I'm going to tell you what's not political. Being black is not political. Being gay is not political. Being undocumented is not political. Having a disability isn't political. This board needs to stop politicizing humanity. 884 signatures were collected asking David Sanchez to resign from his seat. Mr. Sanchez, I don't know if you take your seat for granted because you are a board member by default, not receiving votes in over 8 years, 2 terms. As a teacher and as a trustee, it is your duty to spread unity and not hate. Don't divide, unite.
Has David Sanchez been held accountable? Yes, he posted that very form apology, copy and pasted on any post that he saw publicly. But if he was truly sorry, truly apologetic over that, you know where he would have been? As a banning school teacher, he would have been at the school board meeting last week. I was there. He wasn't. If you truly are sorry, why not speak that public apology? And as board members, you shouldn't just be standing aside letting this happen. Your community's talking to you. We're asking for action. We're asking for accountability. He should honestly step down for those. He's been a board member by default, not a single vote. We already have 800 signatures. If we get on the floor, do you want us to do recall? Because that comes out of your pockets, out of the district's pockets. That's not our pockets. So as someone who's supposed to be fiscally responsible, is charging your community for a recall because you can't step down and take your own accountability?
I'm here today to call for the immediate resignation of Trustee David Sanchez for his disparaging remarks. When I think back on my days as a student of this district, I remember my teachers as professional and respectful individuals who took their charge as educators seriously and prioritized the well-being of their students and their education. They were shining examples of Beaumont's values. David Sanchez has failed in every respect to that. This goes beyond a differing opinion over immigration policy. Half-breed is a disgusting and dehumanizing term to call immigrants, likening them to dogs. Is that what this board stands for? Is that the example this board wants to set for its students? And so, on behalf of my organization and the communities we represent, I call for the immediate resignation of David Sanchez, whose continued inclusion in this board will only contribute to further division and increase mistrust towards this board and fear amongst our students and their families.
I know that we heard many things tonight, and unfortunately many left. I want to simply say that while we sit up here kind of in a stoic position, unable to respond to many things, that I want, at least from my part, that you are heard from this board. You are heard. We take into account everything that is said, everything that is conveyed. While they may not be here, I just wanted to share that they were heard, the concerns of the community were heard, and unfortunately, you don't know all the discussions that take place, that not in the open, but please convey to those that they are heard and their concerns are heard. Thank you.
Take this opportunity to apologize to the board for my conduct. Out of 8,500 days, I made a mistake. And that mistake out of 8,500 days can take a person's reputation and turn it backwards in time very quickly. But I'm not here to justify anything. I have grandparents that would be upset with me right now because of their lineage and the term that I used. At the same time, I was disheartened by the petition for calling me a racist. Again, things that a person does throughout their life, fighting for a cause and trying to show as much empathy as possible for anyone and all people, can come to a crashing and very quickly. I've been honored to be blanketed twice by the Native Americans of the Morongo tribe and in the Inland Empire. Or even our own logo I brought to the board's attention. Both hands shouldn't be white. But that can all fall on deaf ears very quickly. But no matter the turmoil that someone walks through during their life, there's always an opportunity for light. And I will say my guiding light during this past week, a mistake that I made, was the humbleness and the pride I have in having students, parents, community over the last 35 years come to my aid and rebuke the accusations of those who've made a judgment call on me that have only known me from someone posting and pasting a screenshot that I did have on my Facebook page in a 30-minute period. And with that, board, I am sorry for the inconvenience and to the administrative team on my poor lack of judgment.
Receive report from Board Member Brown. That would be me. I wanted to thank all the people who came out here tonight. I realize that not many of them are left. But I do appreciate the time and the effort and the passion necessary to leave your families to come here to express something that you feel that driven for, that commitment to. And I want to, like Dr. Sylvester said, I want to let everyone know that nothing expressed before the board falls on deaf ears. We listen to all of the opinions expressed, and we deliberate on those things from our perspective. Please know that we do hear you. I heard a couple of people come up here tonight and say that we come to the board meetings and we express our opinions, and we don't feel like we're getting anywhere, and we don't feel like anyone hears or understands what we're saying. But the 5 of us up here, we hear you, and we do take everything you say to heart, and we do take it very, very seriously.